Diversity, equity, inclusion are essential components for a great financial advisory practice today, but how do you really create action around diversity, equity, and inclusion? I'm joined today by Kristi Rodriquez to discuss just that. Kristi, it's so good to see you.
Wonderful to see you, Matt.
So Kristi, let's level set first and foremost. Talk to me about the power of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
So diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I don't want to leave out belonging, is probably the largest business imperative that we have right now for our industry, but when you think about globally how we're going to be able to sustain. It is important because we look at the diversity of our country and how it's changing. If we don't become an industry that is inclusive and more belonging, we will run the risk of losing our industry. So I believe truly it is one of the largest, again, business imperatives that we possibly could be focusing on right now.
And I agree with you completely. The difficult thing sometimes is changing the theory into action. Talk to me a little about what you're doing to create real action around diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging.
So Matt, when you bring that up, you are spot on. We are wonderful at talking about the problem, but not so much the solution. And I think you have to start where you are. For me, what was most important was a way that I was going to be able to galvanize our industry. So Nationwide conducted some research back in 2018 that focused on the lack of Black financial professionals. We could have easily kept that research to ourselves, but I said the one way that we're really going to drive systemic change is if we allow this research to go out into the industry and we made it more inclusive to bring diverse financial services firms in, as well as historically Black colleges and universities, to help us drive at the problem twofold. One, look at how are we recruiting talent? And then secondly, which is probably also the most important, how are we investing and sustaining once they come into the organization to ensure that they're able to flourish and prosper in any career in financial services that they may choose. And we have to remember, it's such a vast ecosystem. So it's really about, again, not only bringing individuals in, but how are we depositing and investing in them so they continue to flourish and grow.
And by looking at this research, were you guys able to see success? What were some of the results after you kind of disseminated this across the industry?
Yeah, so the immediate success that we saw was so many firms were saying, and this goes for large firms, small firms, how can we join? We have been struggling to do this as well. And so we saw an immediate response when we had 7 firms sign up without us even, with only us sharing the research. Now what we're seeing in terms of success is we partner with an organization called HBCU Connect, in which we thought we'd possibly have maybe 30 historically Black college students come to a webinar that we were going to conduct about the industry and then actually hire real-time jobs. Matt, you won't believe this. That 30 was actually magnified to close to 350
Wow.
students who attended back in February. So again, our commitment was for those students, they came in, they learned about the industry, and then we interviewed them on the spot with the firms that were part of the Financial Alliance for Racial Equity that I just spoke about, and either offered them internships or jobs. So when you talk about driving solutions and change, it is having that tactical but also profound impact that we can have on our industry by bringing individuals in, but then saying, I'm committed to you to mentor and ensure that you grow and you get the resources that you need to prosper.
Now we're here at Wealth Management Edge. You just completed an amazing think tank around diversity, equity, and inclusion. What was your big takeaway?
Oh, there were so many takeaways, but I would say the biggest takeaway is how fully present everyone in that room was, and how we all said the only way that we can continue to move forward and grow stronger is together. So I'm encouraged that, so often in our industry we're in competition, but this is the one imperative that we said we're going to join forces together and really drive change. And that just made me smile for the rest of the day.
Kristi, your smile's infectious. Thank you so much for making some time to walk through all this with us.
Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate it.
Hey, for Edge TV, I'm Matt Ackermann.